Have you ever felt frustrated trying to photograph a beautiful location but there's just been too many people around? I'm heading to a spot that's normally chock-a-block with tourists and tour buses, so I decided to come back after sunset and hopefully make some beautiful astrophotography images. Sun is well and truly set now, and we've got about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that, to astronomical nighttime. I'd also like to dedicate this video to Alan Wallace, may he rest in peace up in the stars, because it's him really that inspired me to start trying a bit of astrophotography seriously in the first place. And the only problem is where we're going, it's a little bit sketchy because it's got some cliffs on either side. So there was 2 cars in the car park and I've seen 2 lots of people come by me. So it could be that I'm going to have this entire place to myself. Cross fingers, because I hate making videos when there's people around. Yep, definitely don't want to be that guy at the bottom there. So you can see down there, long way down, and down there, a long way down. And welcome to nature's window. I don't know if we're going to be able to capture any stars through the window, but if nothing else, it should make for an amazing foreground against the stars. Ah, can you believe it? Got the place to myself. I'm just going to get everything set up while there's a tiny bit of light around, just so I'm not fumbling too much in the dark. I do have the light on my phone and also a second light. If I put that leg down, stars. Today we're shooting with the Sony a7R4 with the Sony 20mm 1.8G, which is a beautiful astrophotography lens, and I can see stars. I must just relax into it and not rush, especially at a slightly dodgy location where one misstep will basically mean, well, probably death, let's face it, by the time anyone finds me. I think I'm going to start off with a test shot just to see where we're up to. I'm going to go to ISO, we'll start at ISO 3200. Whoa, that's bright. So when you're doing astrophotography, there's a little rule that you can follow if you want the stars to stay pin sharp. Now there's a more old-fashioned rule that didn't take into account modern digital sensors. It's very much in the film days, and you can use this to calculate if you want to spot stars or not. I'm just going to record my screen for you. So what you do is you put in your focal length, in this case it's 20mm, and then the aperture, in this case it's 1.8. Oh, excuse my hay fever. And you have this mode, default mode or accurate. So if you want it accurate for large prints, I'm going to actually do that. And you can see here the NPF rule means we can get 4.16 seconds without those stars moving. So 4 seconds is not that long an exposure, but let's dial it in. And I'm not really too bothered about the composition at the minute, just a test shot. Whoa, I can see stars. And the little trick is, if you turn your head torch on to bright mode, it's as if you've got foreground, use touch to focus to select a focus point, and you can focus on it using the head torch's light, and then flick back to manual focus. 2-second timer. So I'll put that first test shot up on screen now, just so you can see what I'm doing. You can see that that's way too bright, it's overexposed, so we can drop the ISO a bit, and the composition could do with a bit of work too. So now we've got a test shot in terms of exposure. I need to find a composition, and I can't really walk around and talk to you while I do this because that would be very dodgy. So for this next composition, I think I'm going to try and go a bit lower down, look up through the arch, so we're not wasting anything behind the arch, and maybe get some stars through it. As you can see from that image, the arch is in pretty good focus. It's a bit underexposed, but the stars are not in focus. So for this shot, we need to take 2 exposures and blend them together. One for the foreground and focused on the arch, and one for the background, or the stars, focused on the stars to make them pin sharp. What I'm doing now is I'm using the head torch to light up the arch, and I'm using focus magnifier to zoom right in and check focus. I increased the aperture to 2.8 and then the corresponding shutter speed to compensate for the number of stops. Now we're at 10 seconds, so let's see if we can get this foreground image. And unfortunately, I just messed that up. A little bit of light was leaking from the head torch, so yeah, that looks terrible. Let's do that again. Well, I've just looked up and there's a million stars. So that's the first frame. The next frame is going to be for the stars. So I'm going to reduce that aperture down to 1.8, maybe 2, and then focus on the stars using focus magnifier. When you're doing this, just try and find a bright star. The wind's getting up a bit now and the Milky Way is right above me. So I'm going to see if I can get a Milky Way shot. It's going to be a bit tricky, not any foreground really to put in front of it, but we're here so we might as well. Well, I have to say I'm getting a bit sketched out walking around up here on my own, and I'm actually really struggling. I'm not actually what I would consider myself an astrophotographer, especially not at sketchy places like this. I find it really hard to get compositions that look any good, especially balancing the foreground and then the stars. If you're an astrophotographer, then you have my respect, because it's definitely highly technical and highly artistic. I'm going to see if I can get a photo of something. I don't know what. For this next shot, I'm going to use this tiny little light and I'm going to put it inside the arch but out of shot of the camera, and that's going to light up the arch. That's going to be one frame, and then I'm going to take a second frame for the sky and blend them together. Alright, I need to get out of here and I'm going to take it very, very slowly. Please subscribe for more landscape photography videos. Normally not in scaredy cat mode as I am right now. Okay, I'll see you in the next one.